Got it. Wonderful. Thank you. Share. All right. So, okay, get that out of there. Minimize. Already. Okay. Let him in. All right. Someone else wants to get in too. Okay. Let them in. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
All right. So this week's Torah portion is called YHWH. YHWH. And YHWH means, and he appeared. Who we're talking about the Most High. He's been appearing to Avraham ever since he left his land, right? Even from our last week's Torah portion, Lech Lecha. Yah is still appearing to Avraham, and he appears to him for several reasons and purposes in order to bring about more education, to talk to him about what he's going to do. But what we find this week in our Haftarah, well, it wasn't actually in our Haftarah, it was something that we discovered, Rivka and I, as we were studying, when the two angels went in and they blinded the people who were surrounding the house of Sodom and Gomorrah. We found in what they call the book of Kings, 2 Kings 6 and 17, where Elisha prayed and he asked Yahweh to ask him to open his eyes, the eyes of this young man, so that he can see. And then Yahweh opened the young man's eyes and he saw, and there before him all around Elisha, the mountain was covered with horses and fiery chariots, which is not what was in our Haftarah, which was in chapter number, I think, 3 or 4. But we found this. And I didn't put the verse up here, but it says that, and then he asked Yahweh to blind the people, because what it was an army that was coming to apprehend Elisha. Because the context of this, and you can read it for yourself in chapter number 6 today, I want you to read it, where this king of Aram was wanting to attack Israel, the northern kingdom. And every time he wanted to attack them, Elisha would get the information, he would know about it. And Elisha would tell the king of Israel, like, hey, be careful, because the king of Aram is going to do this to you. And he has an ambush here, and he has this, and he's that. So eventually the king of Aram says, hey, who has betrayed us? How does Israel know that we're going to keep doing this? Somebody here is betraying us, And then one of his men said, no, he said, there's a prophet who hears everything that you're saying, and he's delivering that to the king of Israel. That's why we can't do what we're doing. So he said, where is he living at? Go get him. So they sent this army down here to go get Elisha, which Elisha's name means that Yahweh is my salvation. And so at this time, the young man came outside, and the whole city was surrounded by the army, which kind of goes along with how in the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, how all those evil and wicked men surrounded Lot's house. And so here he says, he asked Yah to open the eyes of this young man, because the young man was terrified and he was in great distress and he was fearful about what he saw. And so he asked the Most High to open up his eyes so he can see. And that is what we're asking Yah to give us today. We're asking Yah to give us a sense of awareness that we don't have. Okay. This text right here tells us that there's some things that you and I just don't know. There's a lot of things that you and I are completely unaware of. There's a whole nother realm that you and I can't even see that's surrounding us right now, right? So when his eyes were open, he saw these, not just regular horses, they were fiery horses with fiery chariots, going to speak to the majesty and the awesome power of the Most High, that he actually has an army that's full of horses and chariots that are on fire, that are fiery beings. And so that tells us that there's things that you and I don't even know, and Yah is the one who has to open our eyes for us to see. Okay, because we are a blind people. He says, who's blind but my servant? So we have our blinders on, and what blinds us a lot of time is our pride. Our pride blinds us, our lack of I think, a set apartness, being in places that we, that don't really facilitate us to be able to have that experience with the Most High. So today, our prayer is for us to get a sense of awareness. Even though we might not be having our eyes open to see fiery chariots at this time, but we can have an awareness to understand what Yah is trying to show us in the Torah. Often when we read the Torah, a lot of people read it just like it's a regular book, and they can't see anything in it. All they see is some of the stories about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They see, Sodom and Gomorrah. They see this, there's going to be a promise. They see those things. Well, there's other things that Yah has in the Torah that only he can open our eyes so we can see those things. And so this week, when we talk about Vayera, it's about opening our eyes. Not only the Vayera means to, not only that he appears, but that he's seen, okay? So that idea for awareness is where we're going to be talking about today. We need to be aware of the plan that Yah has. Yah has a plan, okay? He just doesn't do things arbitrarily. It's actually by plan, it's by design. And so Yahweh Elohim does nothing without revealing his secret, because that's what it is. In some texts it says a plan, but the plan is secret. It's a secret plan that he reveals to his servants, the prophets. So Yah's not going to do anything on this earth or to anybody without them first knowing about it. He doesn't do that. He doesn't do the peekaboo surprise, I got you type of deal. So there won't be no, hey, I didn't know. It won't be, oh, I'm shocked, I'm surprised. It'd be none of those things. Okay, because Yah, not to us, because Yah has revealed his secret, right? So the secret things belong to Yahweh that you see in Deuteronomy chapter number 29, verse number 29. But those things that are revealed to us, what things? The things that Yah wants to reveal to us belong to us and our children so that we may keep the Torah. So the secrets are in the Torah. The secrets are given to and by the prophets. Why is this plan a secret? Why is it a secret? Because Yah only reveals the secrets to his prophets, right? And so we have here that Yahweh said in our Torah portion, should I hide from Avraham what I'm about to do? Okay. We discovered earlier in our readings this week that Avraham, Yah has designated him as a prophet. He's already told him some of the things he's going to do. There's some things that we don't even know that Yah told Abraham that has never been revealed to us. Remember, the only things that have been revealed to us is so that we'll be able to keep the Torah. Okay, so the Torah itself is a secret, but there's a lot of other things that have not been revealed to us. Okay, so he said, should I hide from Abraham what I'm about to do? Inasmuch as Abraham is sure to become a great and strong nation, and all the nations of the earth will be blessed by him. This is a question that the Most High had asked. And it was a rhetorical question. Right? So he's saying that no one even gave an answer to this question. And who was he talking to? Was he talking to the three Malachim that were there? Who knows? He just asked a rhetorical question. And the idea is that Yah has concealed some things from us that he wants to reveal. He's going to reveal them through Avraham. All right? Because he said he's made himself known to him so that he can give orders, which are commands, to his children and to his household after him, to keep the way of Yahweh and to do what is right and just, and so that Yahweh might bring about for Abraham what he has promised him. This is the idea of he's going to educate his children. That's what he's going to do, giving commands and giving orders to not only his children, but those who are part of his household, to guard and to protect the way of Yahweh is about learning. Right? So education for us is about learning about the Torah. So this is the same verse, but I put in the right words that are supposed to be there. I have made myself known to him so that he would give commands. It's not just orders, but commands to his children, his household after him, to what? Not to keep, but to guard. I want you to guard the path, not the ways. I want you to guard the path of Yahweh. Okay. And to do what is righteous, right? And to do what is righteous and judgment, so that Yahweh might bring about for Abraham what he has promised him. The question is, Has Yahweh actually brought about for Abraham what he has promised him? What do you think? Do you think Yah has brought about what he has promised him?
I think he has, yes.
Okay. So what did he promise him? Let's go through the list right now.
To give him a son, or will
Yeah.
give him a son.
All right. So here it is. Excellent. So what we have is Yah gave a son. All right. And what else did he give? So that's a check. What else?
His seed will inherit the land.
He gave him what?
The land, his seed.
Yeah, he gave his seed the
children.
land. Yeah, yeah. Check this out. Good. Excellent. The land to his descendants, right? So
there's the innumerable seed, which hasn't
Yeah.
fully fulfilled yet.
okay, we got the innumerable, right? So like the blessing of the seed, okay, of seed. We got that because he has done that. What else has he done?
Are you talking about up to today?
Well,
Or,
yeah.
or
Well,
those in
I'm
their
saying-
sheep?
Well, I'm saying a better, yeah, according, well, even if it's up to today, yes. Let's keep it in the now. So he's given him a son, which was Yitzchak. So that's true. Right? He gave him Yitzchak. He gave him his descendants that land, right? He did bring them in there. He did fulfill that. He gave the blessing of multiplicity of the seed. He did that. He has been their Elohim, right? He's done that. Right? So is there anything else you can think of that maybe he has or has not done?
Or he still has kept his children or Abraham's descendants alive. I mean, most of them don't know who they are, so he's keeping them secret until
Yes.
time. But he's we don't. I mean, they're scattered all over the world, but they're still here, and that's otherwise we
Yeah.
wouldn't be here.
Yeah, that's excellent. So this is one thing that I want to bring to your attention is different. This one thing that hasn't happened yet, meaning all the nations. Oh, come on. Internet is not doing good. All the nations, have they been blessed? Have they blessed the children of Abraham?
No,
No.
most, I would say 99%.
No.
No.
Haven't, right? So this one right here is the last one that has to be fulfilled. Because this is what he says, and on through your descendants, all the nations of the earth will bless themselves. So all the nations of the earth has not blessed themselves. So the actual promise that Yah is saying that he's going to give to Abraham has not been fully realized yet because of this. Okay, he wants to bring about everything that I told Abraham, that I promised him. So not everything yet is done. There's still this one piece that needs to happen. Okay. Right. So he's done a lot of these other things, but this is the last thing that he has not done yet. Right. And there's a reason why. Somebody tell me right quick, why do you think the reason why he hasn't brought about that last part?
Because the nations don't know who they truly, I mean, who the true descendant of, or the Israelites are.
Correct.
They're blessing, or they're protecting the wrong Israel, I guess.
Yeah.
So that hasn't been revealed. Maybe that's why.
Well, yes, it's true. We have not, the true children of Israel have not been revealed, right, yet, and neither has the nations been blessed by them or through them. So this is something that hasn't happened yet. And one of the reasons why it hasn't happened is, and not only because it hasn't been revealed to them, it hasn't been realized because the children of Israel, Abraham's descendants, have failed to teach their children. It's because the children of Israel, okay, because the children of Israel have failed to give commands to their children and guard the path of Yahweh, to do what is righteous in judgment, so Yah might bring about what he's promised Avraham. This is the reason why he said he's going to give the commands to his children and to his household after him. So the reason why none of this has been realized is, and the reason why there's not an awareness of this for the nations is because of the children have not obeyed. They haven't listened to what their fathers were teaching them, okay? So the fathers are Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's the reason why, okay? So again, education and learning is a big part of how these promises are going to be brought about. He says that I might bring it about for Abraham what he has promised him, okay? There won't be any of this brought about unless they do those things, okay? And the ultimate goal for all of us is to understand what Yah is after, okay? Yah asked this question, and it was a rhetorical question to the children of Israel, right? When he gave them the commandments, they all said, you know, if we keep hearing his name or we keep hearing his words, we're actually going to die. So you, Moshe, go listen to him for us and bring back the message. And Yah asked the question, he said, hey, listen, I heard what they have said, but he asked the question, who is he that will give and exist a heart like this, that they would fear me and obey all my commandments so that it go well with them and their children forever. So the children is what's part of it. This is a big part of it, okay? The fear of Yah is supposed to be taught. Now, it says this, now this is the commandment, the laws and the rulings which Yahweh our Elohim has ordered me to teach. This is Moshe telling us this, to teach you, for you to obey in the land you're crossing, to possess, so that you will fear Yahweh, your Elohim, and observe all his regulations and commandments, mitzvot, which I'm giving you, your children, and your grandchildren, as long as you live, so that you will have long life, okay? So education, teaching, and learning is part of this. And Yahweh has ordered, that is, Yahweh has commanded us that to observe all these laws, to what? To fear Yahweh, our Elohim, always for our own good, so that he might keep us alive as we are today. It will be righteousness for us if we are careful to obey all these mitzvot before Yahweh our Elohim, just as he has ordered us to do. So the key here is the obedience of what? Of the order. Someone put your device on me. I'm getting some feedback. Thank you. So what Yah is telling us is that the idea behind everything of righteousness and judgment has to be done by obedience to the command. The command is to fear Yah. That's the command, to fear him. That's the whole purpose. But there's a process, okay? There's a process. We go back to, again, Davarim. He says, the day that you stood before Yahweh, your Elohim, at Korev, when Yahweh said to me, gather the people to me, and I will make them hear my very words. Why? So that they will learn to fear me as long as they live on the earth, so they will teach their children. It's a process. There's been a break in the process, okay? So you say, well, what does this have to do with the Torah portion? What does this have to do with what Yah's been talking about? Well, it goes back to last week's Torah portion, Lech Lecha. Do you remember Lech Lecha? Do you remember it? What do you remember about Lech Lecha last week? Well, last week, we found out that Avraham was told at 75 years old to leave his family, his dwelling place, his father's house, his associates, his land, his culture, and everything. I need you to leave. But there's something else. Remember, I said that this is a process. Now, 62 years later, Yah gives another Lech Lecha to Avraham, okay? This is amazing. This is the first time I saw this, okay? In all my studies over the last 10 years, I've never seen it before. I want to share it with you. So I gave you a Lech Lecha when you were 75 years old, and now I'm giving you another Lech Lecha at 137 years old, okay? 62 years difference, so that's a process, okay? And he said, Vayomer Yahweh to El Avram, okay, his name was still Avram at the time, Lech Lecha. You know, de me artsaka, de umimo latika, and umabeth de avika, de elaha adretz. I share the ar eka, meaning I will show you. And this is what he means. He says, now Yahweh said to Avram, get yourself out of your country and away from your kinsmen and away from your father's house, and go to the land, okay, that I will show you. What land was he talking about?
Land of Canaan.
That's at first glance, we would think that that's the land he's talking about. I got news for you. He's not saying that. Remember, I told you last week that he never directed him. He never directed him. He didn't tell him what land to go to. He just started his journey. That's all he did. He didn't say go to the land of Canaan. He didn't say go to Mount Moriyah. He didn't say go to the Negev. He didn't say go to Mizraim. He didn't say any of those things. So Yah just wanted to see if he would go, and he did. Lech Lecha is just the command to go. That's why I have it here like in a italic here, that is to go. That's what Lech Lecha. He wanted to know if he would go. Right? But Yah had in mind a land, right, that he wanted to share with him. So this is in chapter number 12. Okay. So keep your eyes open. Yah was, and after these things, okay, talking about after Yah told all the things that Lech Lecha happened, from the time that he circumcised his son, the time that he had a vision, the time that he went to war, the time after Sarah had a baby, the time after Sodom and Gomorrah, the time after all the stuff from chapter number 12 all the way to chapter number 22. After all these things, all those things that you read, the Elohim, the high Elohim, tested Avraham, and he said, Avraham. And he answered, here I am. Okay. I want to bring out one other point, though. I want you to remember that Avraham, right here in chapter number 12, was still this man, Avram. He has not been exalted yet to a higher level. He didn't get his level changed until he followed the command of circumcision, right? So he didn't develop, and so there's a time of development that the Most High had to bring him through. So from chapter number 12 to chapter number 17, right, of last week's Torah portion, that was more of the development of Avraham, of Avram. Avraham gets developed, and then he's exalted to Avraham, okay? Once he goes from Avraham, just like Sarah or Sarai went from Sarai to Sarah, he has to go through a transition as well. So here now he's in this exalted position, okay? And the reason why is because Yah now has brought him to a place where he's supposed to be tested, okay? And so he's testing him. And his response to the test is, here I am. Here I am, meaning I'm at your service, okay? If you notice, I put the letter Aleph out there for you to look at, and I put it right here for you to see, which is this letter, okay? That letter has great significance, okay? It's in our Father's name, and it's in the name of Elohim. It's the first letter of Elohim, and it's the first letter of our father Avraham. So what is the significance? The significance of this is that the Aleph has all these ideas from an agricultural standpoint of that which is an ox or a bull, okay? Which means to teach, a chief, a leader, and a guide, and a mentor. And as you can see, the actual letter is right here. This is the ancient picture, which is an ox head for the letter Aleph, okay? And over time, they changed it from that picture to this, which represents, this part is the head, and these right here are the horns, okay? Those are the horns. I hope you can see that. It's still the head, just right. You got the horns that way, or if you turn it this way, okay? These right here are the horns, and this right here is the head, okay? So over time, they've changed the script to make it look like that, okay? But the ideas behind it is to teach, right? Why the ox? The ox is because the ox is used for agricultural purposes. In order to get the results that you want out of the ground, you're going to need someone to be able to do the work. So you have to teach this animal to do this. Okay. It is the chief. It is the one of the strongest mammals, okay, are the domestic animals that are used for agriculture. It's the only one who can pull off the work the way it needs to be done. It's the leader of that in particular group of animals. They're used to guide in order for you to use them to go across a land, right, from one destination, here it is, to come right here to this mark, to this destination. Okay, and it's also used as a mentor because what they do is they tie and yoke up another ox to this ox, so they both can be yoked together, and then they can travel along that way in order to do the work that they need to do. Okay, so the idea of leadership, guidance, mentor, all of that is in this letter Aleph, which that is the first letter that you see in our Creator's title of Elohim. So what we're seeing right here is we're seeing that Yah has yoked himself with Avraham to teach him. Yah has put a yoke on Avraham. Okay, and so the more, and it's just the idea, not the Yah as an ox, but what it is the concept behind it. The older, more mature and experienced ox is leading the younger ox, so they can go together and they're traveling together. They're going through a process of learning. So from chapter number 12 all the way to chapter number 22, the Most High has been training Avraham. Okay, so our father didn't become great because he didn't have some teaching. And you and I cannot expect to become great unless we go through some time of teaching, and we go through education, and we go through learning, and we go through, being tamed. We go through being disciplined. We go through being chastened. Okay. So this idea is the Most High has been training Abraham all the way until that time. So he said, now listen, the contrast to chapter number 12 and chapter number 2 is this. He said, take your son, your only son, whom you love, Yitzchak, and go to. Okay, that word right there, go to, is, what do you think it is? It's Lech Lecha. So Lech Lecha was like two bookmarks, right? So if you got Lech Lecha here, and then you have another Lech Lecha here, they're literally like two bookmarks. In between there, you have everything that was consistent with Abraham's life. So from one time of Lech Lecha to the last part of Lech Lecha, everything in between this space is the training. So Yah brings him through all this training for a purpose. And the purpose is to give you the final test. That's the goal. I want to give you the final test. Okay. So when Yah told him, take your son, your only son, to whom you love, the one that you're attached to, Yitzchak, and I need you to Lech Lecha, this is where I want you to go. I want you to go to Moriah. That's where I want you to go. So everyone, when Yah told Avraham in chapter number 12, verse number 1, that I need you to Lech Lecha, and I want to show you a land, he didn't tell him what land it was. He didn't tell him what land it was. This was the land that Yah was making reference to in chapter number 12. This was the ultimate destination. The ultimate destination was to have him go through all those different places, have all those different experiences, have his wife taken 2 times, go through a war, defeat kings, see Sodom and Gomorrah get destroyed, because I'm going to bring you finally to this place called Moriah. That's where I'm going to bring you. And then when you get there, I need you to offer him as a burnt offering on a mountain that I will point out to you. Now, this is a little disturbing to everyone because they're thinking, well, is Yah interested in human sacrifice? And the fact of the matter is that no, Yah isn't. There's a purpose, the reason why the Most High asked him to take his son up there, and I'm going to show that to you. But I just want to bring out the point that when Yah told him in chapter number 12 to leave, I'm going to show you a land, this was what Yah had in mind. This was the land that he had in mind to finally bring him to his destination. So we see the Lech Lecha is literally about go, because I'm going to send you to a destination. Okay, I'm going to bring you to a place. And the place that Yahweh wants you to bring you is called Moriyah. Moriyah. Any questions? So when you go back and read chapter number 12, verse number 1, and it says, go to the land where I'm going to show you, he doesn't show him what land. Here he tells him, Lech Lekah, and this is now the land that I've intended, what's called Moriyah. This is where I want to bring you. Okay. So people have never put that together. Okay, he says, Wayomer kakna de el binka te el the yarika de yasher de hapta. The et yiskak, the way lek leka, the el eretz, the hamoriyah, and the waha elenu, irishan wa ola, the all the akad, the havranim, asher nomar the eleka, which means this. He said to him, take now, right now, I want you to take your son, right? I want you to take your son, the one that you're united with. That word right there is called a yakida. And yakida really comes from the word akkad. And akkad is to be one, and it means to be united. Okay. The one that you're united with, the one that you ahavta, meaning the one that you love him, right? You love him more than anything, right? And who do you love? You love Yitzchak. Because you notice all these F's right here are the direct object marker. So you can see that F right there, again, that Aleph is a strong mark for the strong sign. So the destination is for your son, the one that you love, called Yitzchak, not Christ, not anybody else, not Yishmael. And I need you to Lech Lekah, I need you to go to the destination, to a land of what? I want you to go to, and he puts it right here, Ha Moriyah. He puts a definite article in front of it pointing directly to what I'm talking about. And that's where you're going to bring and tie your son up and make him as a burnt offering to me. And it's the reason why I chose this one. Okay. And he's going to show us the reason why. Because Moriah has to do with this idea of seeing of YHWH. Within the word Mori, this is a participle, meaning something is actively happening. This right here means to see, and this right here is Yah. Okay, so Yah sees, seeing of Yah. So the destination for Avraham was to bring him to Moriah. It wasn't to just go to Canaan. It wasn't to go to the Negev. It wasn't to go to the Oaks of Mamre. It wasn't to go to Mizraim. It wasn't to go to Gerar. It wasn't to go all of those, the Elyon of Mamre. It wasn't to all those places. This is where Yah is seen. This is where Yah sees. And why? What is Yah looking for? What does he want to see? We're going to find out at Moriah. I don't know if you know this, but Shlomo began to build the house of Yahweh in Jerusalem, or Yerushalayim, on Mount Moriyah. I didn't know that. Moriah, on the mountain where Yahweh sees, where Yahweh appeared to David. Just like Yah appeared to Avraham in our Torah portion, Wayira, he Wayira to David. He appeared to David, his father. Provision had been made for this at the place of David has chosen, the threshing floor of Arnon the Yavusi. So it gives us a little bit more idea about where Moriah comes from and why Moriah is so important. Because Yahweh appeared there to David. So he's telling Abraham, bring your son up to Moriah, to the mountain of Moriah, right? This is where the house of Yahweh, the temple of Yahweh, is going to be built on Moriah. Okay? But we need to learn more about Moriah. There's so much about Moriah that I could not put it all in slides. I couldn't. Okay? I couldn't put it all in slides. But what we have to do, let me go back here. Let me share this. What we have to do, let me see if you can see my screen. Oh, right here. Confusion. Let me see. There's so much information, I'm not able to put it all on slides, like I said, because it's just too much, right? So where is it at? All right, let me put this up here. Okay, cool. All right, here you go. All right, there you go. Nice little segue. All right. So where we're going to quickly go over this story about Moriah, the hill on which Avraham now has ascended on to go make Isaac out to being a burnt offering. Okay. It's found in First Chronicles chapter number 21. Now, remember, we just read that Shlomo built the house of Yahweh on Moriah, because that's the place where Yahweh had appeared to David. So we want to find out, how did Yah appear to David? And so we can find out something, okay? It begins with this: the adversary, which in Hebrew is called Satan, now rose up against Israel and incited David to take a census of Israel. That is a mistranslation. Okay? The reason why it's a mistranslation, everyone, is simply because it's a mistranslation because this word that's being used for Satan right here, you can see it on my left-hand side of the screen right here. It doesn't have a definite article in front of it. It's talking about not the Satan. Oh, what's going on? I guess when you do that, it does that. Okay, forgive me, everyone. It's not talking about the Satan or the Satan. It's talking about just, oh, just don't behave. It's talking about a Satan. This Satan here is not the Satan. This is an adversary that rose up against Israel and incited David to take a census of Israel. I don't know if you know this, but taking a census of the people of Israel was a crime. The Most High doesn't want anybody to ever count the children of Israel. Somebody tell me why.
Because then you would be applying a number to what should be unnumberable.
Exactly. So the innumerable amount of sand of the sea, the innumerable that was mentioned in your Torah portion about the stars of the heaven, your innumerable is the dust of the earth. It's all innumerable. So if someone's counting the children of Israel, it's saying that Yah has designated a certain number of people for Israel, and he hasn't. They're numbered like the stars, the sand, the dust, okay? The grains of dust. So he says it's innumerable. So this actual Satan here is not the Satan. It's actually something inside of David, okay? All of us have our Satans. You have it. You have something in you, okay? An adversary is someone that is going to go against. It's someone who's going to go against something, okay? So it says, and David said to Yoav, and Yoav means Yah is our father. By the way, the leaders of the people, go and take a census of Israel. I'm reading from the right-hand side, from Beersheba to Dan. Your Beersheba was in your Torah portion. It was the well of seven. Somebody tell me, why was it called the well of seven? Why was it called the well of seven?
Does that represent completeness?
Well, you got seven for completeness, but your father Abraham, he went to build a well in Gerar, and he went to Avimelech, and there was some contention between them because someone tried to take his well away from him, right? And there's arguments between that. And the Bayer means a well, and Sheva means seven. So why is it a well of seven? Why? Because it was seven wells? No, it was one well. The one well that was built right there, that's where Avimelech, the king, Avimelech and Avraham made a covenant. And he did it because Avraham gave them seven. He gave 7 lambs. The man asked him, said, well, what are these 7 lambs that you're giving me? He said, this is to prove that you and I can't use this device, I guess. I can't use this because every time I do it, it does this. Forgive me, everyone. So verse number 2, the Beersheba, so the 7 were the 7 lambs that were given by Avraham to Avimelech. That's why it's called the Beersheba. 7 lambs were given as an oath, okay? And he says, then report to me. So go take this census, then report to me so that I can know how many there are of them there are. Go count Israel. Yoav said, may Yahweh make his people as numerous times as many as they are now. But my lord the king, aren't they all my lord's servants in any case? Why does my lord the king require this? Why should he bring guilt upon Israel? Now, why would David's decision bring guilt upon Israel? Somebody tell me. Why is his decision going to bring guilt upon the whole entire nation? I'll tell you why. Because David is the leader of that nation. Every decision is made. He's the leader. He's a representative of the nation. So because he's making this decision, the whole entire nation is about to suffer because he's their leader. The reason why he's their leader is because Israel wanted a king. Okay, right? So they chose Shaul, and now they got David. The Most High put David in place. But all the king's instructions, whatever he does, if he takes his people here and they die, it's his fault. If they starve, it's his fault. It's all on him. Okay. Nevertheless, the king's word prevailed against Joab, and so Joab left and went through all Israel. After which he came to Jerusalem, Yerushalayim. Joab reported the results of the census to David in Israel were 1.1 million people or men who can handle the sword, while Yehuda had 470,000 men who can handle the sword. But he didn't count Levi and Benjamin among them because the king's order was hateful to Joab, because he knew what the command was. Elohim was displeased. Okay. So if you look when it says, and Elohim was displeased, I want you to show you something. That's in verse number 7. Over here on verse number 7 in Hebrew, it says, and Yahweh was displeased. Here you go. Let me see right here. Levi, verse number 7. Right here in verse number 7, it says, and was displeased, reading from left to right, and was displeased in the eyes of high Elohim. What does this say up here? Oh, what does this say in number 7? Somebody who's been in my Hebrew class. What does that say? What's the Hebrew? You can read it just at the top with the Wayera. Wayera. Isn't that the name of your Torah portion?
Yep.
So our Torah portion is Wayera. Okay, and we're going to go over this. So Wayera means that Yah was displeased. Yah was, and that Ra right there means wicked. So he's saying that this was evil in Yahweh's eyes. The Ene, the Ba'ene right there is displeased. That's really your eyes. This was evil. It says displeased is not, it's his eyes. I'm going to click on it for you so you can see it. It's his eye, his ayin. So Yah sees. Listen to me. Yah sees. This was evil. This was evil in Yah's eyes, what David did. It says he was displeased. It's not only displeased, it was evil. There you go. Ra'ah. It's evil. It's bad. This was evil in Yahweh's eyes. This is what David did. He did this, okay? So that's called Wayera. So here again, and so we see that this was evil in Yahweh's eyes, and therefore punished Israel because of what David did. Verse number 8, David said to Elohim, I have greatly sinned by doing this. Now, please put aside your servant's sin, for I have done a very foolish thing. Why didn't David say that Satan did this? Why did Elohim punish Israel for David's decision if he so-called was incited by Satan? David wasn't incited by Satan. David was incited by something in him, which is something adversarial towards Yah's command. All of us have Satan within us. We have an adversary there's something about us that's adversarial against the Most High. And that's what sin is. Sin is being an adversary. It means that you are in opposition. You're opposed to what Yah has said. Just like David counted these people, which he knew was wrong, there's something rose up in him. And guess what the cause of that was? Somebody tell me, what caused David to do this? Besides his adversarial attitude, what would make a king do this?
don't know, just going on his own willingness.
There you
Make
go.
decisions.
His own pride. Pride. That's what God David to do this, is his pride. Yah says, be careful lest your pride lift up your heart and you forget about my commandment. So now after this has been brought to his attention, so David prays to Elohim. Verse number 9, Yahweh spoke to God, David's seer. Yah didn't talk to David. Directly, he talked to his seer. He talked to his prophet, God. Verse number 10, go tell David that Yahweh says, I'm offering you a choice of 3 punishments. Choose one of them and I will execute it against you. So God came to David and said to him, take your choice. 3 years of famine, 3 months to be swept away by your enemies, while your enemy's sword overwhelm you, or 3 days of Yahweh's sword, right? Plague in the land with the angel of Yahweh or the Malach of Yahweh destroying everywhere in Israel's territory. Now think about what answer I should give to the one who sent me. So David said to God, this is very hard for me. Let me fall into the hand of Yahweh, because his mercies are very great, rather than to fall in the hands of a man. So Yahweh sent a plague on Israel. That was the choice that Yah made. Yah made the choice to send a plague on Israel, and 70,000 of the people of Israel died. Why? Because of David. So also Elohim sent an angel, a Malach, to destroy Jerusalem. Hear this. But when he was about to carry out the destruction, Yahweh saw YHWH it, and he changed his mind about causing such distress. Why would Yah change his mind? Somebody tell me. Why did Yah change his mind? I'll continue. So go ahead.
Because of his compassion.
Well, that's true, but also too, Yah was thinking about somebody else. See, this is before Jerusalem had a temple built on it. This is in chapter number 21 of First Chronicles. What I read to you was in Second Chronicles, chapter number 3, where Shlomo built the house of Elohim. So this is before a house of Elohim was ever built. You understand? On Mount Moriyah. So on what they call Moriah. So when Yah looked at Yerushalayim and he was about to carry out destruction, he changed his mind about it. He changed his mind because that was the place where Avraham went to go obey Yah. He said to the destroying angel, enough, withdraw your hand. And the Malach of Yahweh was standing at the threshing floor of Ornan the Yevusi. Okay. The name of Jerusalem was called Yevusi before it was Jerusalem. Okay. David raised his eyes. Remember YHWH, he looked with his eyes and he saw the Malach of Yahweh standing between the earth and the sky. And his hand was drawn, right? Was a drawn sword. And in his hand was a drawn sword stretched out over Yerushalayim. How big was this Malach? Was he a regular man with a sword in his hand?
Have to be absolutely huge.
He was absolutely huge with a sword. He was between the earth and the sky. He had this sword that was stretched out over Yerushalayim, not just standing, just pointing towards it, over the city. Then David and the leaders wearing sackcloth fell on their faces. And David said to Elohim, wasn't it I who ordered the census of the people? Yes, I am the one who has sinned. I'm the one who's the adversary. I'm the one who had that Satan in me and done something very wicked. But these sheep, what have they done? Please let your hand be against me and my father's family, but not against your people, striking them with this plague, because Yah was killing everybody. Then the Malach of Yahweh ordered God to tell David. Did you hear the Malach of Yahweh? Ordered God to tell David to go and set up an altar to Yahweh on the threshing floor of Ornan the Yevusi. And David went up to God's word, right? Up at his word, spoken in Yahweh's name. So the prophet is talking to him. Remember, I ain't gonna do nothing unless I reveal it to you through my prophets. The prophet tells David what it is and said, yeah, Yah says go build an altar on that threshing floor. Arnon turned back and he saw, this is the guy, the Yavusi, who saw the Malach of Yahweh and his 4 sons who were with him. They hid themselves as Arnon was threshing wheat. David approached Arnon, and when Arnon had looked and saw David, he went out from the threshing floor and prostrated himself before David with his face to the ground, like you saw in your Torah portion, what Avraham doing when he saw the 3 Malachim, and then when you saw what Lot did when he saw the 2 Malachim, right? Because he recognized this. And then David said to Arnon, let me have the partial with the threshing floor so that I can build it on it an altar to Yahweh. I will pay you full value so the plague will be lifted up from the people. So the plague was lifted up from the people by him paying it. So Arnon said to David, take it for yourself. Let my lord the king do what seems good to him. I'm giving you oxen for the burnt offering, the threshing sledges for the firewood, and the wheat for the grain offering. I'm giving it all. But the king David said to Arnon, no, I insist on buying it from you at full price. I refuse to take what is yours for Yahweh to offer a burnt offering that costs me nothing. To be with Yah, everyone, is it should cost you something. It shouldn't cost anybody anything else, right? So David bought the place from Arnon for 600 shekels of gold by weight. So he purchased this threshold. The same place that he purchased is the same place where he built the altar to Yahweh, and there he offered burnt offerings and peace offerings. He called on Yahweh, who answered him from heaven by fire on the altar for the burnt offering. So he put the offering there, he built it, he put the wood, he put everything, and then he called on Yah, and fire fell down from heaven. That's Yah's answer. And Yahweh gave the order to the Malach, and he put his sword back in his sheath. And when David saw that Yahweh had answered him at the threshing floor of Arnon the Yavusi, he sacrificed there. For at that time, the tabernacle of Yahweh, which Moshe had made in the desert together with the altar for burnt offerings, were in the high place of Givon, so they were not in Jerusalem. But David could not go into the presence to consult Elohim because the sword of Yahweh had struck him with fear, with terror, with fear. Okay? Struck David with fear. David was afraid of Yah at this moment. Okay? Then David said, this is the house of Yahweh. Where? Where's this at? Where's this at? This is at the actual threshing floor of Arnon the Yavusi that correlates to the Mount Moriyah. Mount Moriyah. That's where Shlomo built it, as we got from 2 Chronicles chapter number 3. So David bought this threshing floor. David paid 600 shekels to have Yahweh's house there. David began to fear Yah at this moment. And so David said, this is the house of Yahweh, Elohim. This is the altar where Israel is to use for his burnt offerings. You see? And so at that point, David ordered the foreigners in the land of Israel that they should be assembled, and he appointed stone workers to shape the stones and the building for the house of Elohim. And it goes on and on and on to talk about what he did. David is the one who came up with all the materials. David is the one who came up with all the gold. David is the one who came up with the plans. David is the one who came up with all that. He came up with all that, and Shlomo built it. That's why he says in verse number 5, Shlomo, my son, is young and experienced, while the house is to be built for Yahweh, must be magnificent and splendid, that his fame and glory will be known in every country. Said, I will make preparation for him. Therefore, David made extensive preparations before his death. So that's what happened. Okay. So that's what we have right there. So the significance of Moriah, and it was a long chapter, that's why I couldn't put it in here. So we see that the significance of Moriah, everyone, has to deal with the fact that this is a place where David had an experience with Yah to learn how to fear Yah. He actually, when it says that he appeared unto Yahweh, or Yahweh appeared to David, is right there. This is where Yah appeared to David. Okay? Just like the Malach appeared unto Avraham. Same thing. So Avraham had an experience at Moriah, and so did David. Now, the word Wayera was used about being displeased. The word Wayera, there's two pronunciations, or excuse me, not two pronunciations, the same pronunciation with two different words. On your right part of the screen right here, you see Wayera. On the left part of your screen, you see Wayera. These two words they're used in your Torah portion. It was used when we just saw that Yahweh was that he saw Yahweh, and then we saw that Yahweh was displeased. Okay, one is to see, right? And this other one over here is to be bad or to be evil. So why is Yahweh using both of these same pronunciation, two different words? You see the difference with the I here, the ayin, here's the aleph, and here's the ayin. This ra right here means to be evil, to be wicked, bad. Yah's trying to show us something. Yah wants us to understand what he sees as evil and what he sees as wickedness and what he doesn't see as wickedness. Okay, so we're going to briefly go over that. He said this. He says, not a play on words. He says, Avraham became very wayera. He became very distressed over the matter of his son. What were we talking about? When his wife told him to get rid of his son and Ishmael and to get rid of Hagar. So it said he became very distressed. No, what he saw, according to Hebrew, is, and he recognized this as being evil. And Wayera, the hadavar, this thing very much in the eyes. This is the eni, but eni of Avraham. This was evil upon the account of his son. He thought what Sarah was doing was evil. It's not that he was just distressed. He saw it with his eyes. He looked upon it as like, this is evil what this woman's telling me to do. But Elohim said to Avraham, don't be what? Wayera. Don't be thinking that this is evil because of the boy and your slave girl. Listen to everything Sarah says to you. Okay, that listen right there was a command. It was an imperative to Shema, to everything she says, because it is your descendants through Yitzchak who will be counted. The promise for the children of Israel is through Yitzchak. He says, but I will also make a nation from the sons of the slave girl, since he is a descendant, meaning he belongs to you. He's one of your seeds. So we can't look at how Yah feels about Israel like he only cares about Israel. Yah doesn't just care about Israel. He cares about Abraham's sons. He cares enough about Abraham's son to make him a great nation too, because he came from Avraham. And that's how we should look at our what they would call the Muslims, our brothers and sisters, because they are from Avraham. They have a different God, and they identify their God as Allah, which they really get that word Allah from Eloah, which means the mighty one. Okay, don't knock them for trusting in Allah. That's not your God. That's not the name that Yah gave you. Your name that Elohim gave you was YHWH. You have a different relationship with the Most High than what they have. He still cares about them. He said, I'm going to make them a great nation. I am, because he's your descendant. I care about your son. Don't worry about him, okay? Because Yah doesn't see that as being evil, okay? So if he's telling Abraham, don't look at it as being evil, neither should you and I, because we're the descendants of Abraham. We should understand that we're counted through Yitzchak. We're counted through laughter, okay? Theirs means that Yah hears. That's what his name means. So Yahweh hears, because Yishmael name means that Yahweh hears. But there's something about the nations that Yah wants us to understand. The nations are saying that Yah isn't looking, that Yah can't see. The Elohim of Yaakov won't notice. Take notice yourselves, you boors among the people, you fools. When will you understand? This is something that's written in Psalms that tells us about how the nations are looking at Yah. They're saying that he doesn't see. They don't really know that Yah is living. They don't know that Yah sees. They don't know that Yah hears. They don't know that Yah smells. They don't know that Yah has a sense of life. They don't understand that. Our Elohim is a living Elohim. Yah is the chief of all humanity. That's why I put there the Aleph, because he's the chief. Yah is the teacher of all humanity. The question is will the one who planted the ear not hear? Yah, he doesn't have an ear, but he hears. The one who formed the eye can not see, all because Yah doesn't have an eyeball or pupil doesn't mean that he doesn't see. The one who disciplines nations not correct them? Yah corrects and he teaches them. Yah is the teacher of all Adam, of all humanity. Our word right there of humanity is translated as Adam. Adam is the one of the strong, because there it is, the aleph again. Okay. And then the dam. The dam means blood. So the strength of the blood. He's the strength of the Adam, the strength of the blood. And you and I and all humanity come from Adama, Adama, from the ground. Okay. Blood is red and so is the dirt. Let you know that these people, the strength of the blood is found in these people out of the dust of the earth. So will this teacher of humanity not know? Yah is the teacher of humanity. Okay. And we need to recognize that. We need to have an awareness in that. We need to be able to see that. Yahweh understands Adam. It says peoples, but they translate it as Adam. Their thoughts are merely vapor. Yah understands that how we see things and what we say is literally nothing but vapor. That's all it is. We're just dust that's respirating vapor, you see? And so what makes us greater? Because remember in our Torah portion, Avraham said, when he was asking the Most High, he said, I'm nothing but dust and ashes. Would it be okay if I ask you some questions? And Yah says, yeah. And he asked his questions. Well, will you spare the city if they're found 50 righteous? Yah says, yeah. How about 45? Yeah. 40, yes. 30, 20, yes. 10, yes. Don't be mad at me. I'm nothing but dust and ashes. You and I can become more than dust and ashes when we follow that which is right. When you and I are living in a righteous way and we're following the judgments of Yah, we become more than regular Adam. Okay. We become somebody that has a relationship with the Most High. What you found in your Torah portion this week was about Sodom. Okay. The question was asked earlier this week, why was there an outcry of Sodom if all the people were wicked in it? And I answered by saying they had some things about them that wasn't disclosed right there to tell you about it, right? So in Bereshit 13:13, it says that the men of Sodom were evil, committing great sins against Yahweh. Well, what sins were they? What were the sins they were committing? Yah tells us in Ezekiel, he wants to show us the crimes of the Sodom. He says the crimes of your sister Sodom were pride. It wasn't because there were just a whole bunch of homosexuals and people sodomizing each other. They were a prideful people. And they had the fullness of bread. That means that they had lack of nothing. And she and her daughters, meaning the cities that were next to her, they were prosperous. And they were complacent. They were so relaxed. They had everything they needed. Everything. This is the reason why Lot chose to go down and live there. Because he thought, well, when I get there, I'm going to prosper too. Right? So that they did nothing to help the poor and the needy. They were arrogant and they committed disgusting acts before me. And when I saw it, when I saw it, I swept them away. This is a warning. This is a warning. The Most High tells Abraham, I won't do it if I find them. I won't do it if I find it. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. But the Most High knew that when he got there, there wasn't going to be 10 people. The Most High, he just answered those questions for Abraham to teach, so he can go and teach his children a lesson. Because the following morning, Abraham woke up and he saw it was filled with smoke. And Yah had compassion on Lot because of Abraham. See? So this is a lesson. Sodom is a picture of what's going to happen to the earth. What Yah plans on doing between the righteous and the wicked. The wicked are the ones who are full of pride. They're the ones who won't do any good to help the poor and the needy. They're the ones who are prosperous and so relaxed and complacent, they don't feel like they have nothing to worry about. And when I read this scared me because I saw it for my own self with my own eyes. That even the nation that we live in right now is a very prosperous nation, but they're complacent. They're not helping. If you look at all the people that are homeless and they're living all over the place around the country, Los Angeles, Bay Area, Oakland, all over the place. The prosperous and the rich don't care about the poor. So this is what Yah says that he destroyed and wiped them off of is because of their pride. This goes back to what David did. He did what he did. He became an adversary to Yah because he went against the commandment. David was full of everything. He had fullness of bread. He was prosperous. He got complacent. And you and I know that not only did that, but he also killed a man and had an affair and all kind of stuff. You see? Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So we have to be careful. In your Torah portion, it was a man called Avimelech. God didn't put this man here for us to look at it and say, well, his name is just Avimelech. No, this is what Yah is trying to reveal to us. Av is father. Right? This is my. Melech is king. Yah is talking to us through this man. Because Yahweh is king. And Yahweh sees, he's Wayera. He sees, but he also says what's evil in his eyes and what's in his sight. So he's going to teach us something through Avimelech. You can see that Aleph again being used, meaning strength, right? The strength of the house is the father. Okay. Elohim came to Avimelech in a dream one night and said to him, you're a dead man, because the woman you have taken, since she is someone's wife. Why? Why did he come to him in a dream? Because he wanted to give him a warning. Now, Avimelech came near, he had not come near, and he said, Master of masters, will you kill even an upright nation? Doesn't that remind you of what Avraham was asking the Most High? When he asked him, will you destroy the righteous with the wicked? Same type of question. Okay. Yes. I know that in doing this, your heart has been pure, because prior to this, he was saying, hey, I didn't do anything. The man told me that this was his sister. I just took her because he told me that she was his sister. Yah said, yeah, I know that in doing this, your heart has been pure. I too have kept you from sinning against me. So we're seeing that Yah can keep a person from sinning against him. Okay. This is why I didn't let you touch her. I didn't let you touch her. Therefore, return the man's wife now. He's a prophet, and he will pray for you so that you will live. What happened to his family? Because he took this woman. What happened to his whole household? What happened?
The wombs got shut up, didn't they?
Yeah, the wombs got shut up, right?
Wasn't it the entire region, though, not just the family, like just everyone's?
Yes, exactly. Here's a report that I wanted to put up here that was shared with me earlier this week by Rivqua. Do you see what the title says?
Huh.
No childbirths in 3 months. Throughout the whole entire country. This is recently. Don't tell me that there's no Elohim. He shut up the wounds of Avimelech and the whole entire region because of Sarah and because of Avraham. Here it is, no childbirth for 3 months. So if you think that's not possible, it's happening even in our day that we're in right now. You see that? You can read this article. It tells you right now there hasn't been a birth over 3 months. So what's going to happen to them?
That's in the entire country of Italy.
Not just in the city, folks. That's the entire country. Do you hear this?
That's pretty scary.
That's not even
Yeah.
like, you couldn't even claim that was any like medical intervention either, because you would still have something. Like that's an absolute zero. That's insane.
Yeah. You see? So that's what's going on. Just wanted to share that with you right quick so you could see that this is not go
I
ahead.
also wanted to bring up the fact that remember Italy during COVID remember how it was being hit the worst?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yes. Okay. So are we starting to get it that this is real? These are not just Bible stories. Okay. So he prayed for the man and said, hey, he said he's a prophet. He'll pray for you. And Yah opened up their wounds again. Okay. The reason why Yah chose a dream, everyone, is because in a dream or in a vision at night when someone slumbers, right? As the people sleep in their beds, Yah opens their ears and he seals the matter with a warning to turn a person away from his action and protect a man from pride, so that he will keep himself away from the pit and from perishing by the sword. Eov, called Job in our scriptures, his name is Eov, and Eov means an enemy. Okay. And the actual word literally begins with a actual aleph. This is the first letter in his name. And then it has a yod and then a bet. That's how you spell Eov. Okay. That means an enemy. Job thought the Most High was treating him as an enemy because of everything that he was suffering. But you got to understand, Yah chooses affliction in order to bring his people so they can turn. He uses that. Okay. So this is the reason why he's warning this man. Look, Yah wants us to know something. Elohim is powerful. That Elohim right there is that aleph. He's powerful. He despises no one, powerful in his strength of his understanding. He does not preserve the lives of the wicked, but gives justice to the poor. Yah is not going to spare the wicked. He's not going to spare the wicked. That's out of the norm for Yah. He'll never do it. He's going to kill every last one of them. Do you understand? He does not withdraw his eyes from the righteous. But when he sets kings on their throne like Avimelech, they might become proud like David. If then they are bound in chains, held by oppressive cords, he shows them the results of their doings and their crimes caused by their pride. He sounds a warning in their ears. And he orders them to repent of their evil because Yah doesn't what? He doesn't despise no one. He doesn't. He gives everybody an opportunity to turn. You're wicked because you choose to be wicked. You're wicked because you would have an adversary, your own adversarial ideas against the Most High. Look what Abraham, the exalted father, said to Avimelech. Avimelech went on asking Abraham, whatever could have caused you to think to do such a thing? He was asking, why did you do this to us? All of our wounds are closed. You lied to me. You told me she was your sister. You were her brother. You guys lied, blah, blah, blah. Because after he got the dream, he went to his servants and told everybody he was shaken. He was afraid of Yah. Abraham replied, it's because I said there could not possibly be any fear of Elohim in this place. So they'll kill me in order to get my wife, meaning that they'll commit what? They'll commit adultery. They'll break one of the 10 words that they say, well, doesn't exist until he gave it to the children of Israel. Yah told Avimelech, I kept you from sinning against me. About what? Committing adultery. I kept you from murder because I know that you guys would kill. Because he asked a question, would you destroy or kill a righteous nation? Will you kill? This is what he asked the Most High. Master of masters, will you even kill an upright nation? He thought that they were an upright nation. And this is the purpose for Abraham and his descendants, is to go and tell these people eventually that there could not possibly be any fear of Elohim in this place. So Yah, instead of Yah telling him this, Yah let Abraham tell him. Why? Because he said there's no yirah in this place. You hear it? There's wayera, meaning to hear and to appear, right? To appear and to see. And there's wayera, to be that which is, evil and despised, and to be, evil in the eyes of Yah. Now we got yirah. Yirah. What is yirah? Yirah is fear. Now going back to Bereshit 22, at the end of your Torah portion. The Malach of Yahweh called to him out of the heaven, Avraham, Avraham, and he answered, here I am. This is the second time. And he said, don't lay your hand on the boy. Don't do anything to him, for now I know that you are a man who fears Elohim. Because you have not withheld your son, your only son, for me. The only one that you love, what you love the most, you didn't withhold from me. Now I know that you fear me. So the purpose of him bringing Yitzchak there, the purpose of the Lech Lecha is to bring Avraham, our father, to Moriah, so Yah can see whether or not this man fears him. That is the test. Not of the emergency broadcast system, the test from Elohim. I want to know whether or not you fear me. Now I know. Well, I thought you said in Bereshit 18 that he said, I know that he's going to raise his children to do what's right and guard the way of Yahweh and to teach them righteousness and justice. Yeah, that's good. I know he'll do that. But I want to know something else. See, there is no test when it comes to doing righteousness and judgment. You can read that. You can practice that. You can do it all like David did. But the question is do you fear me? Do you remember what Yah said in Deuteronomy 5? Who would give their heart to fear me? About the children of Israel, they were scared. Who of them would give and exist a heart to fear me? That is what Yah is looking for from his people. I'm looking for fear. That you tremble and you shake at my presence. Abraham raised his eyes, going back to YHWH. He's looking now, and he looked with his eyes, and there behind it was a ram caught in the bushes by its horns. Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up as a burnt offering in the place of his son, the same mountain that David offered an altar and a burnt offering to Yahweh. Abraham called the place Yahweh Yireh, not Yirah, Yireh, meaning Yahweh will see, as it is said today. On the mountain, Yahweh is seen. That's why he said that David had seen Yahweh. He saw the what? He saw the fire of Yah. He saw the Malach of Yah. He got afraid of Yah. He learned fear of Yah. We can't get so prideful and so like we know it all, even through our education and stuff about what we know about the Torah, where you and I lose fear of Yah. You don't even know and recognize, and you're not even aware. And I wasn't. That Yah is listening to us right now. His eyes are always on us. Whether it is righteousness or wickedness, he's watching you and I right now. He's not only watching us, he's listening to us. Just like he heard Sarah's thoughts in her head. And she tried to lie out of her fear and said, no, I didn't say. He said, yes, you did say that. Just like the prophet was telling the king about what this man was doing, because Yah was hearing this king's thoughts even in his bedroom chamber in 2 Kings chapter number 6. Yah hears, Yah sees, Yah knows, and Yah smells. The Ruach Nokoach told the children of Israel, when you go to relieve yourselves, make sure that you go outside this camp, dig a hole, and relieve yourself, and then cover it. Because I don't want to see it, and I don't want to smell it. Otherwise, I'm leaving the camp. You open up that Torah, you better wash your hands and your feet and your face. You better be clean. Don't talk about the Most High Yah when we're in a bathroom. Yah does not want to smell us. We're human beings. We're creatures that have been made from the dust of the earth. Yah knows the deepest secrets that you and I have. Ultimately, you and I can't hide from Yah. Yah sees everything and everyone. The Malach of Yahweh called to Avraham a second time out of heaven, and he said, I have sworn by myself, says Yahweh. Yah is using the Malach of Yahweh to transmit the message because a Malach is a messenger. And the message is, Yahweh says, because you have done this, and because you haven't withheld, you haven't refrained your son, your only son, was Yishmael, was Yitzchak his only son? No. Why does he keep saying it, Yakidaka? Why is he saying it? It's the one who you know that the promise is through. You haven't withheld the promise from me. You haven't, the one that I gave you, you're willing to give to me. You're willing to do what I said. I will most certainly bless you and will certainly most increase your descendants as many as there are stars in the sky and grains on the sand on the seashore. Your descendants will possess the cities of their enemies. And by your descendants, all the nations of the earth will be blessed because you obeyed my order. That is the key to being blessed. That is the key to bring about what Yah has promised to Abraham. That is the key to fearing Yah, is by obeying his order. Now, when we look at this, the question again was, hey, has Yah brought about the promise that he said he was going to give to Abraham? According to this, your descendants will possess the cities of their enemies. Is that true today? No. And by your descendants, all the nations of the earth will be blessed, or they're going to be blessed by them. Has that happened? No. Well, how is it going to happen, Akika? When you and I bring about obedience to the order of Yah through fear. I know now that you are the person who fears me. You won't let your son, your daughter, your wife, your house, your job, your wealth, your bank account, nothing stop you from doing what I said. You won't put nobody and no one and nothing in front of me. Because that is the person who fears Elohim. Shabbat Shalom to all of you on this message. Today, Yah is talking and telling us that I see. And I know what's evil in my eyes, and I want you to pursue that which is right in my eyes. And the only way you can do that is by following the laws and the statutes and commandments out of your fear for me. He didn't say, well, who is going to give to me to exist to love me like that? The basis of the relationship with us is based on fear. The New Testament has turned and said that it's about love. It's not. It's about fearing Yah. Abraham received the promises he received because he feared Yahweh. That's how he got it. That's what's written. And I'm hopeful that you can see it. Now, I want to take a few moments of your time to share something with you. Praise the mighty Yah. Let's see, where's it at? Internet, don't fail me. I have a cool. Okay. Thank you, Qua. I got you. All right. Can you see my screen?
Can.
Okay, good. Awesome. All right, everyone. So listen. I want all of us to learn at an easy pace this Hebrew language. Part of my teaching, you have an option, you can stay. I'm going to take about 15 to 20 minutes to go over the Hebrew alphabet. And every week, what I'm going to do is just take out a little piece out of every chapter that I learn, and I'm going to introduce you to the language. I can't give it to you. I can't put too much on you at one time. It's a process. Okay. As you can look on the right-hand side, it says roots, reading, and grammar. It takes a long time. This language right here is not going to be, learned overnight. I've been doing this for years and I'm still learning. So it's a process. And what I want to share with you is just the first 5 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Okay. I don't want to share all of it. It's just too much information. Okay. So I want to go over the first few letters, which you have on your left-hand side, which is called the Aleph. Okay. The Bet, the Gimel, the Dalet, and the Hey. All right. So the Aleph is the first letter that you have in the Hebrew alphabet, which consists of a silent sound. It's a letter that's silent. There is no sound made for the letter unless there's some vowel that's put underneath, and we'll talk more about that later. Okay, but just by itself, the first letter that is in the Hebrew alphabet is the letter Aleph. Okay, let me put a little color right here, purple, right here. Oh. Okay, I guess it's not given to me. It's just tripping. All right, so okay. I'm learning a lot today. All right, so it doesn't allow me to annotate. All right, so the first letter is the Aleph. That's number 1. The second letter is going to what they call the Bet. On your left-hand side of the screen, it's spelled B-E-T, like, place a bet. This in particular letter has 2 different sounds. Okay, the first sound is like B as in boy. So you already know the sound. You just didn't know what the letter looks like. Okay, so the letter Bet has a B sound as in boy, but the second sound that it has is a V as in vine. Okay, a V as in vine. So one will be B, 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 and the next one will be V, 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 V. Okay. The next one is called a Gemil. A Gemil. Gemil is a third letter. And of course, these letters, you're already familiar with these sounds, right? So the Gemil will translate into a letter G. Okay. And so the G sound will be as in the word for girl. G, 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 girl, girl. Okay. So we have the Aleph, which is silent. We have the Bet, which is a B or a V sound. Then we have the G, G, G sound for the letter Gimel. Okay. Next, we have the Dalet. Dalet is translated as a D in English, which will give you your sound as you would say door, D, D, door, door, door. So these letters Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet all have the sounds that you're familiar with. I think the tricky one is the Aleph because there is no sound, it's silent. And the final letter is the Hey. Okay, the letter Hey has the H sound as in house. Okay, so we have B, V, G as in girl, D as in door, as in house. So we have the way that the letter looks. We have the name of the letter, which is Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey. Okay. Now, what I've done is since there's only 5 letters, and if you don't have this book, I want to send it to you. Just let me know, stay on after class, and I'll send it to you. I want you to have this book, and we're going to go over, and you go over it as you have time in your life. Life is busy. There's a lot going on, and I don't want you to give up on the language. That's why we're doing this. This was brought to my attention by someone who's in my class, one of my favorite brothers, Lucas, was like, hey, let's do it this way. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea, because we don't want anyone to be left behind in terms of learning this language, because you won't be able to find out these secrets that Yah has in the Torah if you don't understand the language. Okay, that's true. A lot of people say, no, I could just do English and I'll understand it. No, you won't. You will not understand it. Okay. Not to be arrogant, not to be prideful, but that's just what it is. It's the truth. Okay. So you have 5 fingers on your hand, or 4 fingers and a thumb. I want you to take each one of the thumb and make that a letter, make the next finger next to it, make that a letter, make the next one a letter, make the next one a letter, makes the next one a letter. I want you to practice saying Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey. Okay. I want you to associate Aleph with 1, Bet with 2, Gimel 3. So if you held up 3 fingers, you say, oh, that's Gimel. If there's 4, you hold up 4 fingers, that would be Dalet. If you hold up all 5, you would say that would be Hey. If you say put up 1 finger, that would be what?
Aleph.
Aleph. I'll put up 2 fingers, it'd be what?
Bet.
Yeah, good. Okay. So we got that. So Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey. Make a song out of it. Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey. Whatever way you want to do. A, B, C, D, E, F. That's how they do it. That's how you're going to learn. Okay. But also too, quickly, the Aleph has, let me see, where did it go? What's associated with the Aleph is these ancient pictures, like we went over today with the Aleph, which is the bull, right? The ox, which is to teach, chief, leader, and guide. So on your left-hand side of the screen, you're going to get the grammatical, script, what it looks like, how it's written. Okay. On your right, you're going to get the agricultural understanding. They don't, in the book that you have that I'm going to give to you, it doesn't have any of this agricultural information. So when you're reading it, you're just reading it and trying to memorize what letters and names, what the names are. And that's a lot of information, right? But what's on the right-hand side is going to help you to understand why these letters are the way that they are, why they look the way that they look, and what do they really mean. Okay, so people understand how to read modern Hebrew, but if I go talk to a Jewish person, which I've had a lot of rabbis and stuff, and I talk to them, they're amazed because I know more than what they know, because I understand the agriculture behind the language. Okay, they only know what the letters are, and they have the esoteric number system and all this kind of stuff, but they don't understand the culture. If you don't understand the culture, okay, you won't understand the language, because you need the language to understand the culture. You need the culture to understand the language. Okay, so the Aleph has that idea that we went over today. The Bet, again, it actually means a tent or a house. It has to do with the family. So every time you look on the left and you see this, this shape that looks like with a dot in it, you could say, oh, that person, that little dot in it could be the family, or it could be a son. It's actually one of the letters that's used for a son, or to even build. So the letter Bet is used quite often when you're talking about a house or a family. And it has some grammatical, understanding, like with or in or inside, because that's how you go inside the tent, or, or within the tent or the house, right? So the house, the tent, and the dwelling, this is where people lived. And so you can see that. And then that's how it's written. The Gam, the letter is called not Gimel, but the ancient name for it is called Gam, which is basically the 2 letters of the Gemil and the Mem, which means to gather together as a group of animals, and will gather at a water hole. So this letter, Gimel, has to do with traveling. It has to do with your foot, because it's associated with water. It's associated with the foot, because people would travel from from one place to the next to go get water, right? So they would walk, they go get the water. In your Torah portion this week, it talked about how Sarah and Avraham weaned Yitzchak, and the letter that's used for there is called Gamel, which means growth and development, to wean. So there was a feast that was held for little Yitzchak because he was weaned, meaning he came to a time of his own where he was able to have some independence, he has some development, and that's part of that Torah portion as well. So you can see how that is associated with this, all right? Also, too, you see how Sarah saw that Yitzchak was being mocked by his older brother, so she told them to get ghosts. I need you guys to leave. So she sent them on their way, okay? And so they had to travel and walk, and they went where they went, okay? The Dalet comes from this word, this ancient word called dal, and it has to do with the door. It's a tent door. Now you can go onto my my YouTube channel, and I have these there. So if you want to review them, they're like 1 minute and 30 seconds. You can go visit these pictures that you see right here, and it will give you some more understanding right quick about what they mean. So the Dalet, again, has to do with the door. It means movement, back and forth, dangle, tent door, door. That's all what it's associated means, a back and forth movement. So when you look on your left, you don't see that. You don't see that. You just see this letter that you're unfamiliar with, right? But once you start associating your letter with something, it will mean something to you, okay? In English, if I say, well, what does the letter M mean? A lot of people are like, well, nothing. It's just an M. Well, in Hebrew, it means something. So when you associate a picture with your letter, you're going to remember it. Okay, if you don't have a picture to go with your aleph or your bet or your gimel or your dalet or your hey, then it's just like information in, information out. It won't mean anything to you. Okay, just like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, J, don't mean nothing to you because they don't have any significance. The only time it has significance for you is when you put those letters with a whole bunch of other letters, and then they create an idea in your mind. Okay. But when you look at each one of these letters as an individual, there's a concept that goes along with it, which can help you to remember it. When you talk about Dalet, you go, d, oh, that's a door. You talk about Gimel, right? G, g, g. And you look at the shape of that letter, it looks like a boot. It looks like someone walking, right? You look at the bet, it's like something's inside of something. You say, oh, that's a tent. And the aleph, of course, I showed you earlier, that's an ox, okay? Last but least, the letter hey has to do with this idea of saying, behold. This was actually used in your Torah portion. When Avraham was called by the Malach of Yahweh out of the Shamayim, it was Hineni. He asked him where. He says, Avraham, he said, Hineni, Hineni. Hineni means, behold, I'm here. Well, I'm at your service. So that letter was used today, right? And so this is the understanding. So when Avraham heard that, he didn't just say, oh, here I am. He said, Hineni, behold. He was looking up at the heavens, okay? And the word also can mean breath, right? Or sigh, as one is taking a great look at a great sight. And so they go, ooh, you see that? Meaning that the letter is to behold or to look or to take a breath or a sigh, because there was something revealed, there was a revelation, right? This idea of revealing a great sight by pointing it out. So in chapter number 15, the Most High told Abraham, look at the what? What I want you to look at. Look up. Where I want you to look at? I want you to look up at the stars, just like you see in this picture. The man has his hands raised because, and that's the ancient picture too, is because this man has his hands raised. He's looking up at the stars at a great sight, right? It's a revelation. And so every time we talk about Avraham or we talk about what his life was, it is literally like a revelation about what's going to happen to us in the future, because Yah doesn't tell, he tells us things through the prophets. Our father Abraham was a prophet, so therefore Yah has made known to him his plan. So everything that Yah has said to Abraham, you and I need to look at it and behold it, and we need to take a breath and look at it a little bit closer, because it is a great sight. It is a revelation. The revelation today that we found was in the fact that Moriah, which is what they call Moriah, that they said that Christ was, that he was crucified on. That's not true. We see that Moriah is Jerusalem. We see that Moriah is a place where Yah appeared to David. We see Moriah as a place where fear was happening. We saw that Moriah was a place where Avraham and he feared the Most High. And it was counted at him because of what he did, right? So we thank Yah for that. We also have, last but least, a Koti, let me see. Let's see, Kwa. Hold on for just a moment. Let me see. Bear with me.
I have a question, but I could
Oh,
ask
no,
you a
go ahead and
question.
ask. You can ask it to me right now. Go ahead.
I just have two observations and two questions. On Bereshit, chapter 14,
Uh-huh.
verse, I think it's 12, verse 13.
14 and 13.
Yeah, Bereshit, chapter 14, verse 13.
Talking about he called him Ivrit. Yeah, Hebrew.
Yeah, he said, what did he say? Someone who had escaped came and told Abraham the Hebrew. So does that mean the Muslims are actually Semites, they're Hebrew as well, since Abraham is their father?
No. Mm-mm. No. Mm-mm. Remember, do you remember what the Most High said? He said that through your son Yitzchak is going to be counted. Okay. Yishmael and all the other Arabs and all those other people, there are his descendants, but they're not the ones who are literally, remember the name Ivret means to cross over, right? So
Oh,
Abraham is
okay.
crossing over between being an idolater
Mm-hmm.
and having a relationship with the creator. Okay. So the Most High is saying that the only ones who are counted are the ones who come through, they come through Yitzchak. There's the only ones. There's the only ones. So a Hebrew in that essence is not just you would say a bloodline, right? Because they weren't talking about his bloodline, because his bloodline is a Mesopotamian. He's a Chaldean. That's where he was born. He was born over Mesopotamia. So yeah, so for him, being Hebrew is just one who is the title of one who's crossed over. It's not a bloodline.
Okay. And then goes to the second question is, so I'm looking at the maps of the world, and Israel or Mesopotamia, Iran, they're all in the continent of Asia. And then I had two college roommates from Afghanistan. They call themselves Asians, and they don't understand why in the US people call them Middle Eastern when they're from Middle Asia. So is that mean Israel or the middle, I guess Middle East, or I call it Middle East, but I guess people call it Middle Eastern or Eastern, Mid-East. Does that mean they're all Asians or even Israel or
Yeah, they are. Yeah, Israel.
Abraham?
Yeah, Avraham, yes, because they're what they will call, you can look this up, they're called Afro-Asiatic. So they are Asian.
Yeah, okay, because the Israel is in the continent of Asia, but then the Israel seems like it's still connected to East Africa, so I'm a little confused. But so they're Afro-Asiatic people.
Yeah, it's Asiatic. They're Afro-Asiatic. So some of them are, I mean, they have so many different, tribes and peoples, but they are Afro-Asiatic, right? So depending on
Okay.
what region you're from, they're still Asian. Yeah, they're still Asian.
Got it.
Yeah. Thank you for those questions. Yeah, they're Asian. Yeah, we're Asians. We're Afro-Asiatics.
It's funny if you look at the UN's map flag, the way they have the orientation, it does make East technically Asia on that map, which is just interesting.
Yeah. But see, the thing is I don't know why, but they won't include Africa as being part of it, which is strange. But Africa has Asians. So as an Afro-Asiatic families, which you can look this up, if you can look up Hebrew, it'll tell you they're what they call Afro-Asiatics, and they're Semitic people. They're Shemitic.
Yeah, most East African, including me, from
Yeah.
Tanzania. Yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
Yes, I hope you guys were able to gain something today from your learning. I knew it was a lot, but I had to let you know that Moriah is significant. Now, here's the thing. This is just me saying this. I really believe that significance of that ram was having to do with Dawid, because a ram is a ruler, right? Perfect execute. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Now I can see the letters. Oh. Okay. So yeah, thank you, Kwa. I wanted you to see that. There was great significance, the reason why the Most High brought him there. So when he didn't destroy Jerusalem, everyone, it was because he thought about what happened there. Avraham is the one who pleased the Most High. He feared Yah. And that's the reason why he didn't destroy it. That's the assumption. All right, look at my teddy bears and my little chickies. Oh my, you guys, there you go. Praise the mighty Yah. YHWH. He appeared and he saw. Let's see. What does YHWH mean in English? What does it mean? Anybody else? Praise the mighty Yah. All right. Let's see who's coming out of the gate. Strong move. Strong fingers today. Wait a minute. Why are they having on the same? Oh, okay, you guys go at 2 of 12. Let's go. What's the name of the city that Lot and his daughters ran to?
My internet's really slow.
Oh,
Shoot. I can't see.
click on that bad boy. Is it Sodom or Gomorrah, or is it?
Oh, shoot, it's Gomorrah.
Or could it be Zoar?
Mm.
Fast Kent just made a strong move against Lucas today. We haven't seen this in a long time.
I can't see.
In which book of the Tanakh will we find the Haftarah this week? Is it 2 Kings, 1 Kings, Jeremiah, Isaiah? Uh-oh, Kent's on fire. Oh, Lucas said, forget that. 3 points. Let's go. Where's my boy, Yared? Double points, double points. It's a puzzle. How did the creator use Elisha
Put
to
them
help?
in order. Make
in,
sure you
uh,
put them in order.
Put them in order. How did he use it to help the poor woman? So just move that one up or down and tell them how it happened. What was the order? So on your screen, just move it up or down. Put the red first or the second or the third and move the green, you know? Yeah, there you go. You know what's interesting? What's interesting, everyone, about this, I didn't talk, well, I'll talk about it later. I don't want Quad to get mad at me. She said, it don't work like that, Dawid. Stop. All right, Samiya's moving up. She was playing possum. She's in the game. Besides being husband and wife, how else were Avraham and Sarah related? Were they uncle and niece? Oh, look at that picture. That's crazy. Wow. Strong move. It's getting dangerous. That means somebody's fingers are moving real quick. Multi-select. Multi-select. What did Sarah do to Hagar and Ishmael? Yo, what are you gonna put this pair? What did they do? What did she do to them? Multi-select. Pick more than one. All right. We have a consensus here. Yes, yes, yes. Lucas is taking a strong lead. Come on now. How did the Most High test Avraham? That's quick and easy. Oh boy, big numbers. Some of y'all second place. Ken's moving. Strong move. Where's my Akoti Pam? What did Avraham name the place where he dug the well? This is all for your learning, everyone. This is to make sure that you get it. I'm held responsible, by the way. Quiz. What type of tree did Abraham plant by the well? Ooh, pretty tree. Quickly, there you go. Lucas is on fire. 10 out of 12. Where did Yah tell Abraham to sacrifice his son? Oh boy. Uh-huh. Da-da-da-da-da. Fast fingers. Let's get it. Multi-select. Multi-select. How many servants did Abraham take with him to sacrifice his son?
Wait, what?
Oh, that's a trick question. That's a trick question. This girl just put a trick question. You put a trick question and that ain't fair, Qua. You're crazy. I knew you were crazy, but I didn't know how crazy you were. Let's see. All right. True or false? Elohim told Abraham to listen to Sarah regarding Hagar and Ishmael. Yeah, he was told to obey. He was told to obey her. Praise the mighty God. Let's come to the podium. Third place today, 83. Oh, this is the chickie with the glasses. Yeah. She came through Kent. Second place. What? And of course, it's the moose, Lucas, out of Canada. Praise the mighty Yah. Your efforts will be rewarded.
That was a fun one. I like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Sister Pam with that little chickie thing on there is just funny as all get out. So cute. How many servants did Abraham take with him to sacrifice his son? What'd you guys say? 0 got it correct. Oh, let's see. The answer was what? 2? Yes. I mean, I could go back and forth because when you're talking about the sex of sacrifice, when they're leaving, or did he go up? I don't
Right.
know. I
That's
thought-
why, yeah, that's why I had to put 2 and then I put 0 too, because when he actually went up there, he had no one. So I put both answers. If you put 2 or if you put 1, you got it correct. I mean, 0, you got it correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Let me see. Yeah, that was cool. Well, you guys, I hope today that you enjoyed your lesson. Today, praise the mighty God. You guys have a wonderful Shabbat, and I'll see you later on next week, if Yah's willing. Anyone have any questions? You can start recording, Lucas.